Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you sort of develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well. And you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading. So please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay.
So Sagittarius, let's get straight on with your reading. This is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, Sagittarius. That 7 of Cups just does not keep coming up. This is going to be this is the reading for the eclipse. So this is basically the initiation from the outside world. So this isn't basically about you, but basically how it is going to affect your surroundings. in particular, Sagittarius. And it will sort of it's going to initiate over this next sort of 6 months. So let's just Ace of Wands as well. That's been with a lot of people. Oh, the Judgment, nice. That's the first time that's come up. So, and with the Two of Swords at the top, which is the first as well, and the Seven of Swords. That's been as well. That's been coming up a bit. So, so if you know anything about the Astroflower, please go down in the description below. You'll find lots about it. And join us on Instagram. You can earn even more. Here is the emotional side of life, your relationships, your sort of spirit, as it were. And this side here is all about sort of like the financial side of life. And this is the energy that's running through you. So financials, this job, businesses, and that sort of thing. I like the idea there's a death card, and I like the idea that the fact that there is the Seven of Cups on both sides. So basically, it seems to be a situation, this is coming out with most people, where both sides, you're getting the financial side and also the emotional sort of side, that is initiating this change, this journey that we're all going together down, going along, as it were. And the nice thing is emotionally you got the Six of Cups, because maybe change has been a little bit too much on your radar over the past sort of like 3 or 4 months. As I was sort of saying in your readings, if you scratch just below the surface, you've got a lot going on for you, Sagittarius, and it's letting that out that has been the most difficult thing, that seems to be. But with this initiation of the eclipse, with that Ace of Wands, that's going to be provoking that change. It's going to be starting you on that passionate journey going forward, going into the exploration of your spirit, your emotional connections with your lover, with your friends, with your family, with your community, with all of those sort of things. You're going to be trying new things by the looks of things. And a lot of things may even come from the outside as well. So as this change comes in, it will make a lot of space where you're going to be able to kind of go, yes, okay, this is possible, that is possible. The question is with that Two of Swords, are you going to have the courage to make that choice? That is the most important thing. And I think you will do, because you've got that Seven of Swords in the middle of you, which is that idea of playing smart, taking away the weapons of another army, so then therefore they can't fight. So, that's what the Seven of Swords is all about. And so it's playing smart. It could be cheating and scheming and stuff like that. But it's just not you, really, is it, Sagittarius? It's you're much more too fun-loving to be like that. So on the emotional sort of side, it's definitely sort of asking you to initiate that journey and start that journey. And with the Four of Cups here, because I didn't mention that earlier on, the Four of Cups, I think this is where the Two of Swords is stopping you and missing that cup. There's a cup that's in the air that's being offered by the universe in a way. And the person is concentrating on those 3 cups that are empty and can't see that cup that's just next to them there. So, and it's just, sometimes you can feel a little bit like, oh, why? And maybe if you didn't ask why about those 3 cups, just say they're spent. And once you look up, you'll find that other cup and you'll be able to actually initiate that journey with the Ace of Wands. So it looks really good on the relationship side and on the emotional sort of side, because you've got to realize that we're all going through this together. And I think the community or the family or friends or your lover, they're gonna help you get through this as much as everybody else. I don't say get through this, because it's not really a nasty thing that's happening to you at all here. It's more sort of like help you to go from one state to another state. So you go from one paradigm to another. And you're going to do that with others around you. And allow them to guide you, allow the community, just sort of, you don't have to make the choices in a way. You can just follow your decisions blindly, because, although, she hasn't got she has got blindfold on, and it's all about decisions. But if she trusts her intuition and he trusts herself, she'll realise that actually, she can follow it maybe blindly. It's a very, very, very good possibility. Okay, so let's look what's happening on the financial sort of side of things. And this is where it seems to come in. There's definitely, the universe is talking about, or the initiation of this eclipse will initiate a sort of the ending of a cycle or journey, or a ending of something and the starting of something new. And it's to do with the King of Pentacles, which is all to do with money and the security of money. And as that sort of is put into question, maybe that's the change from the eclipse, put into question. You might want to see that in our world reading that we did. As it put it into question, it's going to bring up new ideas for a new way of doing things. And you will enjoy this. It will stimulate you in lots of ways and make you feel very childish about the future. Looking for it, really looking for a better future with you. And the Judgment card up there is a way that's going to help you to sort of make those choices, or just follow your judgment blindly. It could well be for you is the best. That's your way of playing smart. That trusting in the process. And as you move from one paradigm to the other, you know where you're from, therefore you should be knowing where you're going. And therefore you should be able to just follow it blindly through. So it's going to initiate a lot more in you than most other signs that I've seen, to be honest. It's certainly going to be interesting. It'd be really good to sort of see how that plays out in the next 6 months, which we will be looking at in your monthly reading, which is coming right up. I've got it in a link in the description below. So please do go and find it and click on it and follow it through. We've got the Seven of Swords again. There's definitely something going on here. So I will see you for your monthly reading. In the meantime, Sagittarius, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.